Okay, well, I think I can start the intro now. Hello everyone. Welcome back to the newest F1 League. This is your Wednesday edition, Formula 2 as per usual. Things are going a little bit odd to start. A little bit of lobby troubles. We finally got it going. I'll even be honest. I was the culprit. I don't know what was going on my end, but for whatever reason, I just wasn't able to join up. And yeah. But here we go. We're going to Singapore here. If you can see the title on your screen there. We got 17 laps feature race followed by 12 laps sprint in the F2 car. It's got a lot of quick drivers out here this evening. I think we got like a 15 driver grid. Not too bad, not too bad. So things are looking good here in Formula 2. If this is your first time in the newest F1 League, be sure to shoot us a follow. We very much appreciate it. And hopefully you'll stick around and tune back in tomorrow night as we go live once again, 6:30 Pacific, 9:30 Eastern, for Formula 1 Division 1 racing with my co-host Elma Jacko. We are going to cast the boys in Division 1 as they try and rip around the streets of Singapore. A little bit of a sneak peek with some of the drivers here in F2 what we're going to see tomorrow. So it's going to be fun. Looking very much forward to it. Last race in Suzuka that we had with Division 1 2 weeks ago before they had their mid-season break. It was quite the spectacle, to say the least. It was all over the place. Our championship leader, Mystic Joker, ended up actually spinning out, which was extremely uncharacteristic, but it made for a very exciting race, seeing battles all throughout the track, trying to gain as many positions as possible, and with a safety car, near the end it really changed up final results in the end with some penalties. So be sure to go check that out on our YouTube page. I'll even send the link in the description for you link is in the bottom of the description, but if you're interested, there you go. The YouTube page is right there for you to go check that out. And shoot that a subscribe as well. We are nearing some goals for YouTube. I actually kind of leave YouTube to the wayside. We're at 123 subs there. Not looking too bad. We're getting there. Yeah, I mean, we've got several people in this league, and quite a few people that follow it. So thank you for everyone that does. And on the Twitch page as well, thank you for everyone that does tune in and follow from time to time. But it looks like we're about to get underway here. 7 minutes behind schedule. A little bit my fault. I will take the hit for that one, so sorry everyone for it being a later than usual drive. So we are about to get underway. We're about to get the ready up from Jinnit, Twinit, and Jacko to get this thing underway. And then we can go into the one-shot qualifying in Singapore and see what the drivers can do on one of the few street circuits in the F1 calendar, as well as F2 calendar. Actually, not really in the F2 calendar, so mainly in the F1 calendar, but ripping on an F2 car, so yeah. Very fun, very fun. Actually, let's look at the schedule here. We've got an absolutely deadly run of tracks here coming up. Now we've got Singapore this week, next week Silverstone, the week after Baku, Azerbaijan, the week after Monza, the week after Portimao, and then we get into the US Grand Prix, and we're anticipating Imola to be in the game by that time after that, and then to finish off the year in Jeddah. So the second half of the schedule is just an absolute banger. Just an absolute, I mean, you gotta classify, okay, so Portimao probably has a little bit of favoritism because it's still so fresh. So it's pretty high up there. It's a good track, it's a fun track, so yeah, lots of good tracks coming out. I don't wanna hurt anyone's feelings, so I won't say which one I dislike the least. I'll just leave it as they're all fun. yes, there you go. A little intro for everyone out there. We are 225 followers, 90% of the way exactly to our goal. So please, please, if you can, shoot us a follow. Very much appreciate it. We're trying to get to 250. I think we can get there fairly soon. So if you can, why not hit the follow button, even if it's for a little bit. Then unfollow. It just helps. It looks better for us. So come on, you can do it. Very much appreciate that. But yeah, one-shot qualifying is about to kickstart us here. A. Daltonian, we actually recently rode on board with A. Daltonian here. Let's give Knuckles a go here. Knuckles a guy who's been in the league for quite a while here. We'll pull up the full track map here, and screw it, let's pull it all up. Why the heck not here? Nice little helmet from Knuckles there. Kind of a Green Hornet Racing stripe there. He's currently sitting ninth, just around Elma Jacko and Jose Miguel. A couple quick drivers actually, with Cake Thomas just barely ahead of him. Cake and Hotspot seem to be switching for position. And yeah, Knuckles swinging around. A little bit of oversteer there from Knuckles. He's able to save it. And we continue on through Sector 2 here. It's going to be a tight session here, or tight section, sorry. Especially in the wet. Jin leads us all the way at the top, followed by his countrymate for a second there, and Will ends with Ray overtakes Knuckles, jumps back up a position after that bit of oversteer. Daltonian's around 11th, Big Pack 10th, J-Cast a new face in the league in 8th, and several of our usual contestants, an Impossible Bacon sitting 7th, Hotspot 5th, Jacko 4th, Ray, haven't seen that name for a while, in 3rd, and Jin still holds the lead here. We'll actually jump on board Jin and see how he enters these final couple of turns. In a fairly clean line. Oh no! What? Oh, such a late invalidation on his lap. Wow, that was an absolute killer. Wow. Ray ends up getting pole. Will and second, Jacko third, Hotspot fourth, and ouch. That one just hurts to see. We'll pull up the track map for you in a second here after we go through the qualifying order here. But we see Ray in the Carlin up on the front row alongside Will Ans as he holds second. El Jacko in third. Hotspot fourth. J-Cast fifth. Supernia sixth. Adaltonian seventh with the Rob HD in eighth. Jose Miguel in ninth, followed by Knuckles in 10th. Cake Thomas, Nikki, and Spaceman are the last to put in laps, and the disqualifications go in order of Darkness King, Big Pack, Impossible Bacon, Jenna Twinen, and Team B7 Racing. So if you are new to Singapore, there you go. You can take a peek on your screen. 23 turn circuit with several tight areas on track and a couple of overtaking positions. 7 can kind of turn into 8. 1 is very difficult to turn into. You need a absolutely blistering run out of 22 and 23 to warrant something through there. As well, 14 offers up an area to overtake as well. It's am I quiet? Okay, I'll turn myself off. Thank you. There we go. Okay, that should be a little bit better now. Thanks for the heads up, Spaceman. Appreciate it. But yeah, so a couple of overtaking possibilities on this circuit. We'll see what the drivers can do. But like I said, 14, even 16 as well, can offer up an area for passing. We'll see what the F2 cars can do. It leaves it very tight racing. We are about to get underway here. If you're new to the stream, be sure to check out Ray's Energy for 15% off your order with code MWF1. And speaking of F2, we are underway. Ray gets a good jump, and he's going to come down into turn 1. He is going to be contested by Will Ads, but Ray goes around the outside, and Will gets clipped on the front end, and he spins on all the way back in 16th place. Hotspot and JCast battling for 3rd and 4th, with Hotspot currently just sitting in behind. JCast has the inside line here, and JCast is going to hold it with Hotspot having to go around the outside. The Rob HD picking up a couple positions off of race start. 2 to be exact. Cake Thomas 3, A. Daltonian dropping down 2, and he's actually falling back a little bit, so maybe a little bit of damage. Big Pack looking at A. Daltonian here, and Nikki is the first one retired from the session. Jose Miguel into the wall. Will Ans out after such a good qualifying, and a safety car right out of the gate here in Singapore, and that is a interesting way to start. I mean, maybe as expected, you could say, with how tight the circuit can be in areas and how aggressive drivers can get right off the starting block to try and get as many positions as possible. So we're unfortunately going to have to wait a little bit to really see this this race open up. But actually, sorry, that was an accident. We'll get these guys back up here. Yeah, I mean, this is what it is, to be completely honest here. The safety car is going to slow things down quite a bit. Actually, here we go. We'll commentate about, we'll discuss a little bit of how many positions were gained and lost throughout the start as well. We'll go into the tire compounds that drivers have chosen with the free pick, with the qualifying being in wet. So, Impossible Bacon with the big jump so far, going from 16th to 9th. The Big Pack going from 15th to 10th. And Gina Twinnet as well, going from 17th to 11th. So yeah, a lot of positions gained off the hop. Knuckles losing 6, Jose Miguel losing 5. Everyone else pretty much picking up a spot other than for A. Daltonian, Will Ans, and Nikki, of course, helping that cause for a lot of these drivers by DNFing. So, we'll see. Quite a few cars are into the pit. So we'll switch over to that and see who came in. Doesn't say, it just looks like it might just be Jose Miguel. So we'll go check out tire compounds. Everybody on the soft. Everyone's on the soft. What's going on with Jose Miguel in the pit? It's taking him so long. And he's going to the super soft. Okay, so that's what it was. I guess I didn't know. So super softs goes on for Jose Miguel, which is a bold strategy. He's got to go the rest of this race on these super softs. So we'll see maybe a little bit of a sneak peek at what the sprint race will be. How you doing, Lucy? You just hanging out? The doggo has decided to join me for this evening's race. No prediction yet. Just a nose buried into the blankets. We'll see if anything changes. By all means, put up dog update, and I'll be sure to let you know what Lucy is up to. I'm not too sure. I think the safety car might go around one more. Jose Miguel kind of throwing a wrench in it, being the only person to pit stop. Like I said, and as you can see, everyone on the softs except for Jose Miguel switches to the super softs. You might have thought, no, he would have been able to tell. So he must have known what he's doing when he came into the pit. So we'll see. Still plenty of laps to go. Safety car before the end of sector 2. We are on lap 2 currently, about to enter lap 3. With no real news if the safety car is going to come in, and I don't think it will this lap. It will have to next lap. So Jose Miguel's going to catch the pack. We're going to go around circuit once more, and then we'll get back underway. Now, I'm okay. As for street circuits go, Vietnam we only had it in the game for 1 year. We never even got to see what Vietnam was as a racetrack. But Singapore is, you know what? I want to give Vietnam the benefit of the doubt, but you know what? It wasn't that fun. It was just too tough. I mean, Sector 1 was okay. Okay. But yeah, safety car is going to come in this lap. Yeah, Vietnam, you know what? You wish it was a little bit better. And, you know, I guess it's kind of sad to see it out of the game as it takes away another circuit. But, I mean, it gets rid of arguably the worst street circuit. So, something that he can get over. But Ray's going to restart us back here. We are back to green racing in Singapore for the F2 round 7. Looks like Super Nunes has got a run on Rob HD already. He's looking at the outside line. And, oh no, very close. I'm not sure if they made any contact. Yellow flag early as Knuckles, I think, got on the power a little bit too quickly. Rob HD and Super Nunes are getting real tight to each other, as is Hotspot and JCast. JCast is feeling the pressure from Hotspot here, but he's able to get away fairly decently. And Hotspot, oh, what happened to Ray? Man, what the heck, I look away for a second. Ray dropping all the way down to 4th. JCast and Hotspot now chasing Jacko. Super Ninas just in behind the Rob HD, and he's looking at the inside line. The Rob HD opens it up for him, and then once again closes it, and this is going to be a very tough area to overtake if Super Ninas can get it. And looking deep, going for a switchback here, but Ray kind of holds up the Rob HD, which holds up Ninas, and now Ninas is trying to get away well, but Rob HD and Ray get away well enough to keep him at bay. Still just sitting in the back. Ray is slowly falling behind the leaders here, so Super Ninas needs to try and get an overtake, and he's very impatient about it. I'm not sure if he made contact with the Rob HD now, but there you go. There's definitely was contact there. Now Ninas is going to have to send it around the outside, but the Rob HD just ushers him away from the corner, and Ninas is just still sitting behind Rob HD and can't get past him as Ray's starting to break away from Ninas and Rob HD here as they've been battling it out the entire time. JCast setting the fastest lap, now within a half a second of Jacko. And Super Ninas did get such a good run out of turn 23, but it actually went all for naught as I think he cut it a little bit too hard, and Rob was able to get on the gas a little bit quicker than Ninas truly was. And Ninas is just swerving all over trying to get past Rob HD, but it's just such a tight track, it's very difficult. Big Packeting overtaken by Jinnit to win it here, circling around turn 3, now through turn 4. 3-second time penalty to Darkness King early on here as we're only on lap 5. Jin picking up the spot. We'll get back on with Super Ninas. We'll see what he can do, but he's in real tough. And Cake Thomas has now caught up to Ninas and Rob HD, and Ninas has to be really careful here. Cake will poach a position, and then it'll be even harder for Ninas to get up the board. He's got to try and get past Rob as soon as he can, as Ray has worked so far away from him. And into the slipstream is Ninas, but it's just not long enough. And maybe, no, Rob gets once again a good enough exit. and Ninas is still stuck behind. Oh, and then Ninas out breaks himself and then drops right in front of, I think that was Cake, and Ninas is the wrong way around and all the way down the order, so he's going to come into the pit. Rob is able to get out of there safely. Actually, I'm not sure what happened. If he's letting cars through, doesn't look like he has any damage. But Impossible Bacon, Cake, A. Daltonian were all able to pick up a position from Rob there. Go. Sorry, A. Daltonian kind of breaking a little earlier than what Rob anticipated, and looked like he kind of punched the back of him a little bit there, but seems to be alright. Picking himself back up, Ninas with the damaged wings, as both ends of his wings are gone. Jin now is draped all over Rob. Pull up the rest of this here, and Rob goes to defend the inside line, and then Jin breaks super deep, gets very aggressive, and then gets punted through the rest of the turn by Rob, and is now the wrong way around. And Rob loses a bunch of positions on top of that, and Jin, that's not what you want to see. It was such a lovely little move by Jin, and then Rob accidentally punched him through the turn the rest of the way. Well, not all racing's fair, unfortunately, and that just wasn't for Jin. Possible and Cake in a little bit of a tussle here. J-Cast and Hotspot have stayed within a second of El Jacko there. Ninas picking up a 3-second time penalty. He's down in 11th. Cake still just tucked in behind Impossible. The first of 3 DRS zones coming up down the pit straight. Darkness King is into the pit, or sorry, Big Pack is into the pit. Cake looking at the outside line into turn 1. Impossible having to cut turn 1 and gets a penalty for it, and he's going to still battle out Cake Thomas. These are very familiar faces here in Division 1. Impossible able to hold off Cake, and now A. Daltonian is just tucked in behind. Yellow flag. Not exactly sure where. The Rob HD Spaceman as well into the pit. AE watches from behind as we have 2 drivers come into turn whatever that is. I don't have my track map up. And A. Daltonian and Cake continually battle it out. Impossible and Cake continually battle it out. And Impossible just squeezes by, or just got squeezed by Cake, but now he's going to come back at Cake, has the inside line, and he's got the pace. He's going to push Cake around the outside. Cake's going to try and go wheel to wheel all the way through, and now A. Daltonian has snuck in there, and Impossible and Cake are going wheel to wheel in a very tight area of track now. Both give each other the room. Impossible sends it extremely deep, and oh no, that's going to be the end of that battle. He's going to lose a couple positions, gets a little too heavy on the throttle, smacks him to the wall. Darkness King now in 7th, with Impossible dropping all the way down to 9th. AE still behind Cake. J-Cast just falling a second outside of El Jacko Hotspot. Actually no, still very close, very close. Okay, I got a little bit trigger happy on that one. So yeah, J-Cast still just barely within a second. Hotspot just barely within a second as well. It all depends on the turn as it seems. A. Daltonian staying nice and close to Cake Thomas still. He's going to get DRS. He won't be close enough to warrant a pass. Super Ninas going deep and picking up another penalty. Jose Miguel getting Impossible Bacon, so Impossible now down to 10th. And we got to remember that they may be on softs, but the softs are the harder tire compound for this race. So So here we go. We're still continuing on our way. JCast still within a second. Hotspot's just fallen outside. Super Ninas working his way back up the order, but now he's got 2 seconds, two time penalties, both with 3 seconds, so 6 seconds total. The Ninas and breaking super deep, nearly making contact with A. Daltonian through that hard switchbacking left-hander. And still staying very close to A. Daltonian ahead. Just so very tight onto the back. AE has fallen 2 seconds back of Cake Thomas, so Cake's pace has come and taken off. JCast still very close, actually setting the fastest lap as Jacko is trying to pull away from him a little bit, but JCast retakes fastest lap. We'll take a peek at what that is right now. And Cake Thomas actually just barely squeaks it away, 1/1000th of a second. A couple of faster laps are being set as some drivers are finding their pace later in this race, and maybe the track is heating up for these guys. Still within a second is JCast. Hotspot a 1.25 seconds out. Super Ninas still very close to A. Daltonian, and a good run out of this turn is going to give him a chance, but maybe a little bit too over aggressive in the entry and can't quite get the pace in the exit, and a little bit too far away. Might have a chance, but I don't think so. It's going to be very close. Super Ninas is going to take a peek at the inside line, but nothing going. AE is actually forced a little deep there, so Super might have a chance here into the next turn. Wants it. AE actually gives him the space. Super gets up on the curb a little bit too high, and continue on with Super still tucked in behind A. Daltonian. Super's just found difficulties overtaking here, and another penalty is really not going to help Super's case. He wants to he gets so very impatient, Super here, knows that he's quicker than the driver behind, goes for an alternate angle in the exit, and just can't quite make the ground coming into the next turn. Anything going into turn 16 here? No. Super's actually going to allow AE to open up a little bit bigger of a gap. AE taking an alternate angle through that turn. Jose Miguel taking Team B7 Racing spot in 12th. He's trying to gain some positions. Knuckles in 11th, Jin in 10th. After Jin got spun around very early, he's just in behind his countryman Impossible Bacon here. Swinging through Sector 3 in the final couple of turns. Jin is very tight on the back of Impossible, and Impossible's actually just going to jump into the pit, and we'll have to take a peek if the undercut will win out there. So they're going to come out with 7 full laps to go as we're on lap 10. So sorry, 8 full laps to go actually. Jin's going to last these softs out a little bit longer. Hotspot has actually closed the gap back on JCast, as maybe a couple of mistakes from some drivers, as Hotspot has closed the gap a little bit more on Jacko there as well. JCast falling just outside, but still very close. If I were JCast, I would pit fairly soon and go for an undercut, but you know that Jacko is thinking about that and might try and cover that off and maybe undercut JCast. We'll see here. Maybe let's take a quick look at the splits. We're about to finish up Sector 2. A quarter back. Okay, so a quarter of a second off his fastest lap is Jacko. We'll see a couple of these drivers might come into the pit real quick here. Ray and Cake in 4th and 5th. So good points right now sitting for the Carlins. Super still draped all over A. Daltonian. Sorry about that. Hotspot in third place. Very close to JCast still. Very tight. None of these drivers came into the pit. We are through Sector 1 onto Sector 2, getting into the technical area of track. And yeah, with every turn, it just seems a driver will just make one mistake, the other driver will close it, and then as he closes it, he'll make a mistake, the other driver will open it up. And there we go. Super Nias is through on A Deltonian. I missed that, unfortunately. Yeah, and we're just kind of waiting for some things to happen here. Darkness King's in 13th, just behind his teammate there, the Rob HD. We'll take a peek at the pit stop. So Jose Miguel is pitted twice and is in 9th place. Big Pack is in 10th. We'll have to see how far up Jose Miguel will jump with the pit stops. I imagine he's going to end up around in 5th. We'll see, but a move from Darkness King on his own teammate going around the outside. The Rob HD gives the space, and of course this last time was where the Rob HD, when he had a driver beside him, it was Jin to win it, and he accidentally dumped Jin there, giving his teammate a little bit more respect. Darkness King is able to go around the outside and gets 12th place, and he's going to try and break way off into the distance. Oh, Hotspot gets JCast. Oh, JCast is into the pit. Hotspot stays out for the overcut. He's 6/10 off of his fastest lap, so we'll see what kind of in-lap he'll have and what kind of out-lap JCast and El Majaco will have as well. They're into the pit for the Super Softs. Cake Thomas stays out and Ray stays out, so the two Carlins are potentially going to double stack here. We'll see. Hotspot's going to finish up Sector 1. We'll see how far off his fastest lap he is sitting. Okay, so he's actually quicker right now, so maybe he was held up a little bit from dirty air. We'll see how he can do through Sector 2, a little bit more the technical spot. Ray's lost some time. Cake is very tight on his back, and a safety car comes in. Wow, this is going to change some things. Okay. Oh, Flighty the Druid with the follow. Thank you. Thank you, whoever you are. And okay, so we're on lap 12. Hotspot needs to pit. He was very far away, so the interval between Hotspot and J-Class and Jacko is 30 seconds. Now, we'll see where Hotspot, all these drivers need to follow the delta. This is going to be close. Ray, everyone that hasn't pitted is going to come into the pit, so just the top 4 drivers simply. Okay, so 31 seconds is the difference between Hotspot and Jacko as Hotspot entered the pit. Ray is 39 ahead. Oh, drive-through penalty for Big Pack, that's a killer. AE's the last into the pit. Hotspot is looking like he's gonna hold first place. Jacko's coming around the final turn, and there we go. Hotspot, yes, gets first place. Okay. Drive-through penalties galore. Rays in fourth, A. Daltonians in fifth. Jose Miguel, I had a pretty good prediction with him being all the way up in sixth. The pit stops, or the safety car, did help A. Daltonian. How old are his tires? He's on 5-lap old softs. The cake behind. Super's all the way down in 13th. Behind Knuckles. Jin's in 11th. Some fast drivers in the down the order. Looking right now at the positions gained and lost, Super Ninas and the Rub HD have lost the most, where we see Big Pack, Impossible, and Jin gaining the most. Into the pit comes Spaceman and Team D7 Racing. Yeah, so not too long left. Yes, we're just still waiting for the safety car to come in. We might just be left with 2 laps to go. We've got Team D7 Racing Spaceman all the way in the back of the pack there, having so much time to try and close on the leaders. We had a drive-through penalty given out to Big Pack, so that's going to simply ruin his race. 2 minutes behind is Team D7 Racing, so he's going to really get a move on here. So we'll see. I'm not sure. The safety car just might come in this lap. It's been around for 3 laps, so it's gonna be tight. No news yet. At least I didn't see anything. That's gonna get us onto lap 15 with the safety car, and then for sure 100% the safety car will be in then. Super Nina should be able to catch back up. And then we'll have 2 full laps to go after the restart to see where these positions are going to change all over the place. Now, my eyes are on Jin to win it in 11th place there. I'd like to see how many spots he can pick up. He's on fresh super softs as well as everyone else. Big Pack has that drive-through penalty. Jose Miguel's on some older softs. And, Jin's just a high-quality driver, so we'll see what he can do. 3 seconds time penalties to him and to the drivers all ahead, other than Cake Thomas. So potentially 6th place could be in the cards for Jin. So quite a few positions are up for grabs there. Maybe potentially even a top 5. So something to keep our eye out there, but it'll be tough with A. Daltoni and all the drivers ahead, other than the hotspot not having any penalties. So the race for the win truly is between from Jacko to A. Daltoni and 2 to 4, with hotspot having that 3-second time penalty is really gonna damper his evening. So Cake Thomas not out of the woods quite yet, or not out of the running as well. If he gets a quick pass on Jose Miguel, he may potentially be able to overtake AE and Ray real quick and potentially have a chance at the win, but he'll have a lot of positions to overtake in a very short amount of time, and it all depends on getting a good restart. So yeah, it doesn't look like Spaceman and Team B7 Racing are going to be able to catch up. Like I said, Super Nines caught up to the pack, so we'll see how many positions he'll be able to poach. Here, he does have a 12 seconds worth of penalties, so it might all be for naught unless Spaceman and Team B7 Racing can't catch up. Yeah, we'll get back over to intervals between the drivers. You can see how tight they are. Spaceman 40 seconds back of Nina, so that 12 seconds is not going to do too much in that. Unless Super Nina's has some sort of chaos, then he'll surely have at least 14th locked up, so something to keep an eye out for in the back of the pack. Safety car is in this lap. We're going to have lap 16 and lap 17 of racing to finalize this feature race. Then we'll get on to the sprint race. So still plenty of excitement to come here as we have one more entire race left to go, and I believe from what I remember that was a 12 lap sprint. So if you're new to F1, a sprint race in F2 is the top 8 from the feature race get flipped, and that is your qualifying order, and the finishing from 9 to the rest of the pack stays as the results from the feature race. And we are swinging around the final turn here. Hotspot's leading us, and we have several drivers coming down the pit lane, and one already smashing into the wall, and wow, commentators cursed Jinna to win it as Jin is already out. Super Nines picking up a spot. Spaceman 25 seconds back, so he's 12 seconds behind Super Nines. Something to keep our eye out there. Hotspot leads us through turn 1. Jacko, knows that his only battle right now is just holding JCast behind him, so all these drivers are still very close to AE Daltonian, right behind Ray. In Darkness King, another driver to lose his bearings and DNF on the last couple of laps. Ooh, so very close. AE and Ray breaking super deep and missing their points, and that's going to bring Cake Thomas. As I was saying, Cake, if he can get past Jose, he's going to have a shot, but Jose is going to hold him off for now. Ray and AE, like I said, breaking very deep. Big Pack is trying to stick his nose in Cake Thomas's inside line there, but Cake is able to hold him out, and Cake is now slowly already falling back behind the leaders, with JCast and Jacko already breaking away, as well as Hotspot off into the distance, and Cake's potential chance at a win is just slipping away. Jose Miguel going deep there, and we got a little bit of a drag coming. Oh, and it looks like Jose Miguel is just able to get, and then there we go, a switch back from Cake. He's going to warrant the inside position, a little bit of contact. Cake gets the elbows out to try and get through, and once again, a little bit more contact, and Cake is going to try and outbrake again, but Jose sends it and swings it around the outside. Big Pack picking up another 3-second penalty, so that's really killing Big Pack's days. He's got to still serve a drive-through penalty. Spaceman has slowly closed the gap. Rob HD actually getting Big Pack, and it looks like Big Pack is losing some major spots here actually. Ooh, very close as he kind of cut that inside line. Super Nines once again picking up another spot into 8th place, holding off the inside line, and then gets shoved and cut through by, I'm not sure who that was, maybe the Rob HD, and Super unfortunately spins out. JCast falling all the way back behind. We're on the final lap of this race. Jacko's got this one lined up, but Hotspot can potentially pick 3rd place unless Ray closes the gap. We'll pull up the leader interval, and yeah, Ray's actually over 3 seconds back of Hotspot, so that 3-second time penalty will still might be able to not be enough to knock Hotspot off the podium. So very close racing there, and it looks like Ray's actually falling back even more. Cake can't get past Jose Miguel, and unfortunately by that, he can't get past AE Daltonian or Ray, and never had a chance at a podium, where if he was able to get through early, I think he would have had a good shot at getting a podium there, but unfortunately, or actually fortunately enough for Jose, as Jose was able to hold him off, and with 3 seconds of time penalty, he'll only lose 1 position, and Cake will only gain 1 position, so all this has just been to troll Cake Thomas, really. And coming into the final sector here, Hotspot leads us. Jacko is in 2nd, but will surely jump up into 1st once the penalties are handed out. look at the final positions gained. Hotspot has jumped up from 4th to 1st, but he will drop down into 3rd. Come around the final couple of turns, you got to keep it clean. A Daltonian, very close to Ray. He can sense and smell 4th place, but Ray is going to make it very tough on him. There's only so many turns left. Impossible Bacon, he loses some major positions. I'm not sure what happens. Hotspot's going to come around the final turn, taking the win, but drops down to 3rd with Jacko finishing in 1st. Ray's in 4th, AE's in 5th, Jose drops to 6th, Cake in 7th, the Rob HD finishing up the final turns, but he's going to drop with Knuckles having no penalties. Rob goes down to 9th, and actually 10th, Super up to 11th, Pack down to 12th, Super Ninas in 13th, is going to hold 13th, goes very deep, or sorry, Spaceman is going to hold 13th, with Team B7 Racing retiring from the session. Okay. Not too bad, not too bad. Kind of a lengthy one, with the safety cars and the late start, but the sprint race is not too far away when Jacko comes over the line with another celebration in the 1st place, and as well as another podium in the streets of Singapore. And I think, from what I remember, our discussion last week was Singapore was the last race that Jacko actually attended, so he got to see his favorite driver, Sebastian Vettel, win. So yeah, he's got good memories there. Who doesn't like to see their favorite driver, Sebastian Vettel, win? And especially, he's a big Sebastian Vettel fan, so it's good to see that he's trying to be like his idol, is Jacko. So well done, Elma Jacko, with your 1st place, and we'll see how you can do in the sprint. But we'll go through the rest of the order there, as we see Jake Haas in his debut in 2nd, Hotspot in a podium in F2. He seems to be a well-rounded F2 driver. Ray in 4th, A Daltonian in 5th, Cake 6th, Jose 7th, Knuckles 8th, Impossible 9th, the Rob HD in 10th, Spaceman 11th, Super 12th, Big Pack 13th, Team B7 Racing 14th, Darkness King and Janet Twin will get points in 15th and 16th. Will Ans and Nikki are unfortunately the only DNFs and the ones to do it so very early in the race. So, but still, sprint race offers up points, so go get them, boys. You got your chance. Still got a shot. Still got a shot. Alright, what's the score in the MLB game? 1-1. Alright. Still tight. Wainwright's still pitching. Scherzer got pulled. Oh. Oh. Really? They pulled him after 4 1/3? Here's the box score. Okay, and here we go. We got the top 8 flip from the finishing result of the feature race. We see Knuckles up on the front row with Jose Miguel, as those two are going to battle it out. And what just happened there? Was that Impossible Bacon? It might just have been. Knuckles sending it around the outside in turn 1. Jose Miguel trying to come back through him in turn 2 and 3. And ooh, Knuckles gets a little bit of oversteer, nearly makes some contact. Cake Thomas is right close to him now. 4 or 5 drivers swinging around the final turn of sector 1 as we come into the fastest part on track. Ray looking at an overtake on his teammate Cake Thomas. He's alongside the inside line, breaking super deep, and oh my god, Jake Cass came out of absolutely nowhere there and actually outbroke Ray as well, and a full wing is gone. A Daltonian's into the wall, and that's one driver gone. VSC, so every driver's going to have to slow right up. Jose Miguel has opened up a little bit of a lead. Nikki is still in this race, so that's good to see. Same with Will Ans. They were able to survive Sector 1. unlike last time around this track, that being the feature race. So, you know what, VSC is what it is. Kind of slows things down a little bit with pretty much the whole pack already past a Daltonian, but beggars can't be choosers. And VSC will surely be ending fairly quick here. Hotspot's moved himself up into third, getting 3 positions off of restart. Rob HD gaining 4. Will Ann's up 6, Impossible down 8. Ray down 3. So some major moves there. Big Pack actually has gotten 4 positions, as well as the Rob HD. It looks like, yeah, JCast is actually into the pit, so that has to be due to some front wing damage. Oh, and it's actually full on safety car. What the heck? Where did I miss that? Must not have been looking in the right areas, I guess. So JCast is going to come in for a new wing. I imagine Impossible Bacon will do so as well. Right off the race start, he absolutely smoked the pit wall. And yet, you see the tires coming off, the new wing going on, and they're going to replace his fronts as well, as expected, really. He's going to go on with the softs and come back out with 1 lap fresher tires than most in this race. JCast actually coming on for the super soft, so that's kind of a bold strategy, to be quite honest. So next week we will actually be in Silverstone. As I said, did not. Stupid. Do that quick. Yes, so Silverstone is next up on the calendar. We'll take a peek at the track map in a second here. There it is. Okay. Yes. Oh. 1 second. Bang. Alright, there we go. Silverstone in Great Britain. 5.891 kilometer circuit, 18 turns, of course, Maggots and Beckett's, a couple of famous turns, Cops, the DRS down the hanger straight, Mystic Joker with the fastest qualifying as well as the fastest lap in this race. Last season's results for Division 1, we saw it all the way back in race week 4. Mystic Joker did win that, which was the middle win of his 7 wins in a row before Matt Rosie ended that in Australia. Last season's podium, Mystic Joker leading the way, and I think Matt Rosie was coming into the league fairly quick, but it was actually Mailmere and Hash sitting 2-3, and Helg with one of his better finishes in Midwest coming 4th. Jin finishing 5th, and there you go, Matt Rosie in 6th. So a lot of familiar faces in that race. And yeah, it's going to be interesting on the way it ends up. But I'm very much looking forward to it. Silverstone has a great history in Formula 1 and a decent history for Midwest. Of course, it's the first ever race where there was a constructor 1-2, with that being Cam and Mystic Joker, a fairly OP team, you can call them, in the Renault with Seabury. Unfortunately missing that race that one day. Mystic Joker stepped in and won it, and Cam coming second. So our first look at Mystic Joker was all the way back when in Silverstone. So we'll see if he can continue his dominance. Oh, Bacon, is there rain in the forecast? That's gonna change some things here. But still waiting for the safety car to come in. And yeah, there we go, you get the news up at the top of your screen there. Safety car is in this lap. And yeah, there is the rain, as Bacon said. So how hard is this rain gonna come down? How many times around the circuit are we gonna go before someone decides that, okay, that's wet enough? Now this gets interesting. Who's gonna listen to Jeff and who's gonna tell Jeff to go bite the curb? This is gonna be fun. Jose Miguel leads us here, but that could potentially only last for a turn if he decides to come into the pit. The safety car is in. Jose Miguel doesn't really slow up the pack all too much, instead keeps it all bunched together. Knuckles is able to get a fairly decent run. Everyone else is within a half a second. We already see drivers into the pit. Spaceman taking the risk as he swings into the pit real early. And yellow flags galore. Through the final turn, we seem to be okay. The rain is slightly drizzling down. We'll see how much it picks up. And yeah, we're coming through a little bit slower. We'll have to see the split times, and it's coming down fairly hard now, actually. So it's gonna be interesting the way this one works out. Drivers are already way off of their fastest lap and are going extremely deep. Spaceman was very early onto the wets. Hotspot down the inside line, and oh, some contact with Jose Miguel. Cake Thomas around the outside. Jacko's in 5th. Trying to weave his way through the pack. Rob HD's in 6th. Ray is all the way back in 7th and nearly bins it in 7th. Big Pack in 8th. Whoa, and Big Pack majorly missing his braking point, and he hits the wall, and there we go, we see Knuckles as well spinning out. Spaceman is definitely going to have the quickest way around track, and a safety car comes out. Another safety car. Well, Galzooks. And Jose Miguel picks up a drive-through penalty. That's going to kill his race. Oh no. And Darkness King DNFs actually. Is Spaceman going to be potentially leading this race? What? Excuse me? He's 45 seconds behind the leader. He's going to close up quite a bit, but I think he's just a little bit too far back, especially with the safety car and the reduced speeds. So that safety car actually really hurts Spaceman. That sucks. That's tough to see. He outthinked it at everyone with that one, but I see a lot of cars even struggling just to get back into the pit. Pit for the wets, except for Jacko. Whoa. That's an interesting one. So Spaceman, okay, how many positions is he gonna gain? Oh right, so quite a bit actually. Almost up to 6. Nicky just edges him out, so Spaceman does end up getting a bunch of positions in the end. I'm not sure what Jacko knows that we don't. He is the only person not to pit. Only person on slicks right now. Is this rain not supposed to last? it's a risk for sure. This is an interesting tactic. Oh, whoa, a hot spot. Almost completely overcooks it there. He's just able to save it with about a foot to spare. He's gonna have the lead in this race. We'll see when this safety car comes in. We'll see if Jacko comes into the pit. I don't think he's gonna. He can't now. Yeah, he is gonna stay out on the softs. I don't know. All these drivers are starting to catch back up to the safety car here. But we do have a couple that are on the opposite side of the track. We're on lap 5 of 12 laps. So 8 full laps to go. Hotspot has virtually caught up to the lead. The Rob HD, Hotspot and Cake Thomas have virtually caught up. The Rob HD and Jin at 2 minute. That second pack, and they'll surely catch up soon. As will the rest of the group behind, as everyone is split by a couple of seconds. Spaceman, the first man onto the wets, is the one who's picked up the most positions through that safety car restart. And actually, let's check how many he's picked up total. Only 4. So he's finished in 11th in the sprint race, or the feature race, and now he's up to 7th. Nikki from 18th to 6th, and Jin from 17th, or 16th to 5th. Another driver pits. Who's that? I think that's Team B7 retiring in the pit. So the fastest lap is with Jose Miguel. I think that'll stay there because that was set on a dry track. And the rain is really coming down. Actually, it's about the same. But the track is definitely wet. Definitely wet. Will Ans is 51 seconds back of the pack. Starting to slowly catch up here. I mean, if Jacko were to come in now, he'd probably drop to about 10th, maybe even 11th. Singapore's fairly short pit entry and exit, so we'll see, but every turn the drivers behind are catching up. Will Ans virtually setting qualifying laps here, trying to catch up to the pack. Especially on the wets, it's tough to catch up to that safety car. Six laps to go. We're on lap 7. Will Ans is the last of the bunch. Impossible's caught up. So we have a pack of 10. Jose Miguel is the next. And followed by Knuckles and Ninas. And J-Cast as well. Singapore truly is a beautiful track. It's a really nice street circuit. Gotta give him a hand. Ants not too far away. Knuckles, you can see the pack just in the distance there. He'll surely catch up real soon. Overcooks it though, trying to do so. J-Cash just following Neat-Ass and Knuckles. Might get the safety car in this lap. I think we will. We've had him out for quite a bloody long time. Yeah, there we go. Safety car is in this lap. Will Ans should be able to catch up to the pack. Not too far ahead of him now. There we go. Jacko's letting the safety car release up the road, backing up the pack. Will Ans is back with the group. That is very pixely. So Jacko's really backing everyone up. Cake Thomas is in a really good spot. And when is Jacko going to release? There you go. And he just cannot get the traction, and a penalty to quite a few drivers here. Hotspot's going to try and outbrake him into turn 1. Jacko covers him off. Goes deep though. Re-enters on track. Spaceman's already out. Jacko is being overtaken into turn 3. Cake Thomas is through. Jin is looking like he's going to get through. The Rob HD has fallen just behind, and Jacko breaks a little too deep and hits Jin. Jin was offered up quite a line there. I think Jacko just couldn't slow the car down on those softs, and the risk has not paid off. And he's all the way back down at 13th, and Jin getting really tight up on the Rob HD as he brakes and makes a little bit of contact. And he's without that right end plate on his front wing there. Cake Thomas and Hotspot have broken off into the distance. We have 5 full laps to go, 4.5 I guess now. Ray picking up a time penalty of 3 seconds there, a drive through still to Jose Miguel. Ray spinning out now and is all the way down into 12th. Jacko still on these softs, trying to. Okay, that's a clean racing line. Spaceman's gone. Knuckles is very far back of the pack. Nina's right on the back of Will Ans. Cake and Hotspot have separated themselves up ahead. And Jose Miguel spinning out into the wall. Oh, and he collected Ray. And another safety car. What? Dude, these. Oh, and Jose Miguel ends it all. I don't know how I always catch people that do that. And just Ray's out. Knuckles is trying to catch back up. So safety car for lap 9, 10, and then back at it for 11 and 12. Knuckles is going to try and catch back up. Hotspot has the lead. Jacko's probably going to come into the pit. No, he's going to stay out on the softs. Going for the no-stop strategy. Ninas into the pit. Knuckles with the drive-through penalty. Wow, this sprint race is. Yeah, it's been a weird one. But if you enjoyed it, sure shoot us a follow. Very much appreciated. Knuckles with another drive-through penalty. That's 2 drive-through penalties. What can you do? You just head down, focus. I mean, it is what it is at times, I guess. 2 drive-through penalties for Knuckles to serve. Ouch, ouch, ouch. So we're going to go through lap 9 and finish that up. We're about to enter sector 3. Going to go through lap 10 as well. And finish that up as well, and then we'll have lap 11 and 12 similar to what we had with the feature race with lap 17 and 18 to race and finish off what is left of Singapore in F2 before we head off to Silverstone next week. But we're still back tomorrow with Division 1, so be sure to check us out at 6:30 Pacific, 9:30 Eastern. Will be myself alongside the man in 10th place, Elm Jacko, or Jacko for short, as the Canadian-Australian duo team up to come back into Division 1, taking our break week away with Division 2 in Suzuka. What can Division 1 bring us to the table here in Singapore? A tight track, very aggressive racing can be taken place in a street circuit of Marina Bay. So it is a lot's up in the air. It's going to be a fun one. But first we got to get through this F2 race, and we got one more safety car lap to do so until we have our final 2 laps of the evening. Super Nina's all the way back down in 11th, Elm Jacko in 10th. He might be just struggling to keep up with the safety car pace on these softs. Braking very deep through every turn. We have 3 very quick drivers up at the top, as well as a wild card in the Rob HD in 4th. A 5-second penalty to Nicky is going to very much hurt him, so Jacko might be able to overtake him if he can stay close enough, but this rain is really coming down, and it is tough to see ahead. And oh my god, Rob HD nearly makes contact with Jin there. It'd be kind of fun if they added like thunder sounds and stuff. I mean, how needed is it? Minimal. Will it probably scare the drivers? Yeah. Should you have the option to turn it off? Yeah. But still, how much coding would that take to put it into the game? I couldn't imagine much. I couldn't imagine it take much coding at all. I mean, like, why the heck not? Throw it in. Even lightning as well. Throwing tornadoes and crap in the background. I mean, I understand this is a very straightforward and professional game, but I mean, you can still make it a little fun. I mean, okay, it's fun, you know, but you know what I mean. Like, just make it a little stupid in a way. Just a little bit, why not? I mean, Monaco's already a stupid track, but we love it. Love it. We like racing. We like to watch it. It's rich in F1 history. That works. But yeah, my very pixely rain screen of Cake Thomas, and Jin is trying to time the drivers ahead, but Hotspot gets going a little quicker than what he was anticipating, and now Cake Thomas has got a really good run on Hotspot. Jin's a full second back. Cake Thomas lines up the outside line into turn 1. Hotspot tries to defend. Cake goes off. Jin gets a clean line through turn 1. Cake goes deep through turn 3. Nearly a little bit of contact between the 2 drivers. Cake has got the lead. Of course, no DRS with it being rain. Jin dives down and gets the spot on his teammate, and now he's going to try and break away. He's getting a little connection issues there. Ouch. So that kind of screws with Hotspot a little bit, but he's back. Hotspot breaking very deep to try and keep a clean race line. Nicky gets the Rob HD. Impossible Bacon still in 6th, and a little bit of contact with his country counterpart of Will Ans, and Big Pack and J-Cast are just in behind as those two are battling. The two teammates wheel to wheel there, and J-Cast seems to have got the job done. Jin's up in second, just ahead of his teammate, as I said, in the MP. Is that, or is that the Cat Post? That's the Williams Driver Academy. That's what that is. Oh, why am I blanking? I'm pretty sure it's the Cat Post. 90% sure MP says MP. Oh, and some major contact with Rob HD there on the inside wall. Impossible Bacon losing a lot of positions in the Dan Tictum car of the Dams all the way back in 10th now. Cake is actually broken away from Jin. Will Ans gets sneaky as Will's weaving his way through the pack now. He's up in to 4th place, 2.5 seconds back, drifting his entry in and keeping a far cleaner exit. And now he can see a podium just ahead. Hotspot staying with his teammate Jin. Will extending that line as much as possible without making contact with the wall. Still on lap 11 as each lap takes just a lot longer than it normally does in the try. Super Ninas behind Rob HD as he's trying to pick a position. Rob HD messes up a little bit, and that brings Ninas back in, and the driver in 8th. It gives the driver in 7th a little bit of bump and a little bit of extra speed through the turn. Still in 8th, Rob HD holding on to 7th. Two drivers ahead have some penalties, and Ninas with a little bit of a bump, and the Rob HD just flies back onto track, oversteering in front of Super, and Super just can't overtake him. Still a drive-through penalty to Knuckles. And Ninas breaks super deep and even more contact, and we'll get away from that battle. With Big Pack just coming ahead of Ninas there. Hotspot still in 3rd, with Jin overtaking him real quick. Jin just can't close the gap to Cake. Cake seems to be driving real clean through the wets here. Jin taking a deep line, and Hotspot gets ever so close to him, and Jin's aggressive angles aren't doing him all too well here. Hotspot has the steady hand through the wet, and he's continuing on through Sector 2 as we come over the bridge. The final time this evening, and down through, and a nice exit. Jin just can't close the gap as Cake is just putting on a clinic here in the wets. Our 2.5 seconds ahead of Jin, and it doesn't look like that's going to come down at all. Yellow flag just behind us there. I'm not sure why. A lot of cars are into that turn. Ninas in 9th. Big Pack just gets ahead of him. Rob HD in 7th still, as this battle still ventures on through the last couple of turns. Ninas nearly making contact. Both drivers opt to go up and over the speed bump there. But yeah, coming to the last couple of turns, we have Jinnit to win it in 2nd, and Kate Thomas leading us through turn 21, and through the final couple of turns, Cake Thomas will surely take home this win. No penalties. Yep, that'll be it. Jin to win, and Hotspot in 2nd and 3rd. Will Ans in a very well and hard-fought 4th. Super Ninas just screw that turn and overtakes these two drivers in the end, then gets punted through the turn. Oh my god, everyone's off the track. And what just happened there? Super Ninas. What? That was not racing. Oh my god, that was... Oh, I actually switched back to impossible. That was messed up. Knuckles, so far back. So very far back. I give the man some credit. He's stuck with it, even with the drive-through penalties. Knuckles will come over the line in 12th. Impossible and Jacko in 10th and 11th. Cake Thomas gets the win. Jin in 2nd, just ahead of his teammate Hotspot. Will in 4th. Nikki in 5th. JCast 6th, and then the absolute anarchy that was Super Nunez with the Rob HD and Big Pack 7th, 8th, and 9th, with Jacko in 10th, as I just said. And finally finishing it up is Knuckles in the back of the pack, and that will be it for F2. So once again, thank you for everyone that has tuned in. If you are interested in the Midwest F1 League, let us know. We'll send you the Discord link, or just come back tomorrow evening and come hang out with Jacko and I as we are back in Singapore in Division 1. So hopefully we'll be seeing you then. We're going to go through the final order for the final time, and then, yes, I will be seeing you once again 6:30 Pacific, 9:30 Eastern tomorrow night with the Division 1 boys. So congratulations to those on the podium this evening. It will potentially look quite similar, except Hotspot is a caster as well, so potentially maybe Will Ants in third instead, but Kate Thomas with the win here, Janet to win a second, Hotspot third, Will Ants fourth, Nikki fifth, JCast sixth, Super Nina seventh, Rob HD in eighth, Big Pack ninth, Jacko 10th, Impossible Bacon in 11th. The Knuckles finishes in 12th. The DNFs go to Jose Miguel, Ray, Spaceman, TV7 Racing, Darkness King, and A. Daltonian. The feature race, though, was a slightly different tale with Elma Jacko. Actually, Hotspot, you get the double podium? Yes, you did. Double third place. Well done, Hotspot. Elma Jacko finishing first, JCast second, Hotspot third. For his first third of this evening. Ray in fourth, AE fifth, Cake sixth, Jose seventh, Knuckles eighth, Impossible ninth, Thorb HD rounding out that top 10. And we see Spaceman in 11th, Super in 12th, Big Pack 13th, TB7 Racing 14th. And the DNAPs were to Darkness King, Janet, Will Ans, and Nikki. So, like I said, that's all she wrote for us here this evening. Hopefully you'll come back tomorrow and check out these lads in Division 1 and see what they have to offer. So enjoy the rest of your Wednesday night or Thursday afternoon, wherever you are. Thank you very much for tuning in.